Hello, and with the end of our little shuffle to this singer song, welcome. I'm so stressed from that game. My hair is just living its own best retro backwards life right now. Susie, quite the game this week. How do you feel about? Let's just talk about that. Before we talk about what we're doing here, let's talk about this. How was Betrayal of Rat Home for you this week?
Betrayal of Rat Home was pretty good. I think the most stressful thing for me was right at the beginning where they had a huge falling out and everybody hated each other, and I was like, oh no, we're supposed to be working together to get this thing done, fam. Can we get along for 10 minutes? But I got to stab someone in the armpit, so I'm happy, you know. Mm.
And sometimes an adventuring group just needs to talk it out and figure out what their motivations are for doing the thing they're gonna do.
Yeah, it was a little family therapy session, you know. And then they had the emotional heartstrings of Ronald being like, you know, if you guys want to sort your own shit out, I can lead the Ratvolution myself. And everybody was like, no, and I was like, uniform. See, GM tips. Give them a cute NPC and they'll just get along.
Yes, always give them a cute NPC that they get really attached to. You can use it to mess with them later. You don't have to even kill the NPC. Just make emotionally traumatic things happen to or around the NPC.
One of my favorite 100%. NPCs that Lindy does is the red dragon. I think their name's Cake. Is that right, Lindy?
Yes, Cake. He's Kike, the red dragon. And he's a baby dragon that hatched him from an egg.
How have your games gone this week?
They've been good. We had a one-shot on Tuesday instead of our normal Mists of Ravenloft. And they were the cult scouts because the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts are overrated and don't belong in D&D. So they were cult scouts and they all earned their grave robbing badges, and it was a hoot. But Vampire this week was good as well. Vampire the Masquerade. I climbed an elevator shaft and didn't fight anybody. It was rather impressive, mostly because I didn't encounter anyone to fight. I blame Will. I think Will was trying to corral me or something. I don't know. We'll see. Unhallowed Metropolis tomorrow, and I'm genuinely a little terrified for that one. So I'm sure.
What's going on in Unhallowed Metropolis? What can we look forward to tomorrow?
So we've been looking for these artifacts for the past 2 seasons. One of which is a dagger, and it kind of enslaves people to your will. It's a very powerful dagger, and we found out that the person who's been doing these murders, making people disappear, and wielding this dagger is my character's lover. So, but at least we strongly suspect. We don't have 100% verification, but I'm pretty sure it's him. He's been acting a little shifty lately. And by shifty, I mean he went to go visit some lady, and Magdalena took that very personally, because she's Dracula's daughter, and that's what you do. But we did that spying. We almost got killed by 30 of his minions. Got back to our New Year's Eve party, and he's sitting there in the audience, acting like nothing's happened. So either he's got an evil twin, or he's about to try to murder us all at this New Year's Eve party, and I'm sure it'll be fine. I won't have to kill him. It's fine. I don't know. Yep.
Woof.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeesh. It is a lot. I did have fun yesterday making a couple of little GIFs of you all reacting to last session. So those will be appearing on the social media tomorrow. Shout out to Susie, who did our Zweihander GIFs and a couple of our Crownland GIFs that you've seen. But speaking of Crownlands, that's what we were playing on Monday here on Encounter Roleplay. Every Monday, 2 p.m. Be here. And we were dealing with the aftermath of what I'm calling the storm, but the characters may remember as that feast where nearly everyone died.
Yeah. How many was it, Charlie? 300?
Well,
this time?
I think the count was actually 17, but every time I speak to you, it seems to go up.
And one dog. Monster.
One dog. Okay, so the tragic
My
story of
God.
Clay. Let's just talk about the tragic story of Clay. So Susie and I got off of call after Crownlands, and I was running through the final tallies based on decisions because Susie had a destiny point to spend. This is not this week, this was last week. And I given Susie the devil's bargain of you can spend that destiny point to save a person's life, i.e. give them your destiny, change their fate. If you had a chance to change your feet, would you?
Would you?
Well, Susie was having a listen to my list of people who were in a bad way, but I hadn't confirmed anyone who was dying. Susie made a decision. And then I did my final list of everyone who was dead and dying. And I suddenly thought, the dog. And I was like, Susie, would Clay have been at the feast? And Susie said, yes, Clay would have been at the feast. I was like, all right, do you want to roll for it? And both of us unwillingly opened up Fancy Grounds, and I pulled up the stats, and we gave Clay, I think, the wolf stats in the end.
We did, yeah.
From the core book. I didn't go into the beast book. I just went into here and grabbed the wolf stats. And Clay actually had better stats than anyone in the family for surviving this thing. Apparently wolves have resilience dice, which is nice.
Apparently. But
unfortunately, Clay did not make it because wolves do have a little bit of cunning, but not enough. Not enough. No. Also felled in the Great Storm was Tala.
Oh yeah, my sister died too, but can we talk about adoption law? Because that's really way more sad. Sorry, Millie, I love you.
yeah, so Tala, but Millie used her destiny point, and this means that her character is saved from death, but I get to decide how, when, and the repercussions of avoiding death for that character. And maybe we'll find out this week what that is, and maybe we won't. Also among the dead, Lord Aberon Bywater. So hang on, let me do some magic if I can open up my thing. I'm going to pull up the family tree, which might help us here. Also made by Susie. Shout out to my bestie.
Oh, thanks, boo.
You're welcome. So let me just fix this overlay. And we'll cut to the family tree because the Bywaters, you can kind of see it, are kind of the maiden family of Allegra's mother, the main family's mother. And Uncle Bywater, Aberon Bywater, is the lord of that house at present, or was until he died. And he was visiting House Tremaine, we found out, in an attempt to make a deal with Allegra, or begin making a deal, when he succumbed. Now, he does have a younger brother, Donegal Bywater, who has sons, and also a sister that's still alive, Rhiannon Bywater. So it's a rather extensive family compared to some of the Game of Thrones family that we've met in this time period. Because the Redgrass Rebellion did a great job of kind of condensing everyone's families by killing off a good portion of them. So I was thinking today what we could do is we could roll up the basics for the Bywater family, because house creation is super fun. And obviously I've got two wonderful people to come and help me make decisions about this family. We do know that Bywaters are very likely somewhere on the coast, probably north of King's Landing, as King's Landing's kind of the southernmost point in a way of the Crown Lands, down right before the Stormlands, where the Baratheons are the Reach Lords. And so yeah, I thought that's what we would do. And chat, I would like you to post a few suggestions for the names of Donegal's 3 sons. And then we'll have a couple of female names as well, and we will mix them in across the table. But let's make Lord Aberon Bywater's family. That's the focus. That's the main branch of the Bywater tree as it stands. So let me grab chat. Hi, chat. There you are. Oh, no, you're not. You're not loading. It's not loading for me. Okay, I will see if I can get that to load in a second. The first thing we need to do is roll the base stats. Now, we've done this a few times. We did this on stream for our session 0, and Susie and I have done it for various other houses. But Lindy, you haven't rolled before, right, for a Song of Ice and Fire house?
I've never played a Song of Ice and Fire yet, so I've never rolled anything.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with the game, it's a D6 dice pool system. And you use D6s for absolutely everything. So have you got a handful of those?
Yep.
I hear them. All right, awesome. So we need to first roll 7d6.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
And this will be for their defense score.
They're very defensive. If high is good, so 6.
High is good.
We got 24, 26, 31.
31. And this is actually +5 because of being in the Crown Lands. So that brings us up to 36. Is that right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, perfect. All right, Susie, if you can roll 76 for me, we will roll their influence.
Okay. There's 23.
23. This is at -5. There's a lot of people in, I was going to say in King's Landing, in Crown Lands vying for attention. So a lot of influence is split. So what does that bring it down to with a -5 penalty,
18.
Susie? 18. Ooh, not a lot of influence. But this is just the start. This is at house
very
founding.
defensive.
Very defensive. They've at least got a small castle with a 36 to start. So that's kind of good. Lands is the next one. Lindy, if you'd like to roll that.
All right, again, 76.
Yes, please.
Shaking it up. Okay, so not as hot on this one, but still not bad. 8, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Okay, lands also at a premium in the Crown Lands, so at -5, so that brings us to a 20 to begin. All right, Susie,
Well,
hit me out
on
with
the
that
coast.
law. Law is at a +20 in the Crown Lands. No one's thieving in the Crown Lands. You gotta
So
be
I
pretty brave.
rolled a 26. So with the +20, that's 46 law.
46. Oof.
They're
Yeah,
defensive
kicking
and they
on
have
the
a lot of law.
Ain't nobody
Yeah.
messed with Uncle Aberon.
Mm-mm.
Except the stranger, apparently.
Except the stranger. All right, the next one is population, Lindy, and this is +5.
Okay.
I love the sound of
Okay.
dice. I apologize if people
That's
don't,
so
but I do.
satisfying. I
It
like
is.
it.
It's nice.
So it's +5.
Yes.
7, 36.
Oof. Big numbers indeed. Very nice. It's a lot of people. Great. And power, Susie. This is at a -5. Power is what forms the armies in this game. This is literally your
Okay.
military power.
All right, at a -5, that's 19.
Ooh, not so high. We do know within canon that Uncle Bywater came to talk to you specifically because he wanted House Dorsey's ships.
Mm-hmm.
The king is putting together a fleet and wanted your ships. All right, and the final one, Lindy, is wealth at
All right.
-5.
I like to get the dramatic shake on. Okay.
You got it, right? Do the drama.
I did. Good. Thank you. 10, 26, 24.
24. That's not too bad. That's a pretty healthy start. Now, at the formation of the houses, we get to roll an additional, I think it's 1d6 per player. I'm just going to double check it because I was reading this yesterday and I've already forgotten. Initial modifications. Yes, an extra 1d6 per player. So that's going to be 1 for me, 1 for Lindy, and 1 for Susie in this case. And then we will allocate these to the stats of our choice. Going to grab me a little d6. Here we go. Ooh, I rolled a 2. How'd you do, Lindy?
I rolled a 6.
Woof. And Susie, how'd you do?
A 2.
Womp, womp, womp. So as it stands, our lowest scores are in influence at 18,
Mm-hmm.
power at 19, and then let me see, lands is at 20. Generally 21 or the ones of the tens unit is the next bracket up.
Okay.
So we could push up power straight away to a 21, or we could push it even higher with the 6 and make it 25, which is always nice. Influence would be good because this is how we can kind of buy more heirs, and influence within the game can be used in different ways as well. So with a 2, that would go up to 20. Obviously, with a 6, that would go up to 24. Lands is currently at 20, so that can go to 22 or 26. Or we can beef up one of the higher stats, such as wealth, and take it all the way to a 30 if we add our +6. We could take our population across the 40 line. We could take our defense across the 40 line and get a bigger castle. But that would require a 6 in one of those. 2s are not going to push us up far enough. So,
see, I would recommend maybe the 6 into wealth to 30, because wealth can be invested in other areas to boost those stats up.
You can buy more military.
You could buy more anything with wealth. It's the most powerful stat in the game, and because you can turn it into anything.
Yeah, it's really easily you invest in the other things. So
I'll set up to 30.
Okay, so I think then we'll pump the power up to 21 with one of the 2s, because that's nice and easy. And then 2 more into influence.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
All right. Cool. So that brings that up to 20. Susie, actually, if you could share the House Dorsey sheet with Lindy, that's where I'm currently putting the stats into, just on the House Dorsey page, because then you guys can see them nice and easy. So that's the start. Within canon, this is a family of cunning and driven people. Aberon has this story about being a pirate, this tale about being, buccaneer by water. And I think there's a fair amount of trade that goes on with Essos, a fair amount of, exchanging of wealth that goes on within this family. So perhaps they don't lean too hard on having a massive army, but they have some power behind them. And I think, I'm interested in pursuing more wealth for them at the moment, but we have a few ages to get through, as this is just the founding. When it began, they were relatively well off, I think, is a fair conclusion, with the beginnings of a castle being built, and probably a castle built by the end of the first age of the first men. If they are that old, Susie, do you think they're that old, or do you think they're a later addition to Westeros?
I feel like the Bywaters are a pretty old family. They've been kicking around for a long time.
Okay.
Plus, it gives us more things to roll, which is way more fun.
Okay. All right. We will roll the whole lot then. So, dun, 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 dun. Lindy, I need you to roll 3d6 for me to determine the first event, the first historical event for this house.
10.
10. This is decline. So as we go into the age of heroes, the age of Bran the Builder and the Gardener dude and all of those famous people in the annals.
And the Gardener dude. He's my favorite. Yeah.
Floris the Fox.
That was his daughter.
That was
got
his
it.
daughter.
She had 3 husbands, and none of them knew about each other.
None of them knew about it. That's because
Hero.
our house, Danielle the Devoted, helped her keep secrets. But that's a tale for another time. So with a decline, we need to roll 4 more d6, and I need to take each of them individually, as they are going to affect different stats. So 46, please, Lindy.
All right. Let's grab one of each color. First one's a 4.
All right, so that is a -4 to influence.
Oh my god.
Okay. What's the next one?
Next one's a 5.
That's a -5 to land. Lindy, roll low.
Well, it's a good thing the next one's a 2.
That's a -2 to power, which drops us all the way back down to 19 on that one. And finally,
1.
Oh, -1 to wealth. That could have been way worse. All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Lindy, what do you think caused this decline as we go into this age, this great age of settlement, really, in Westeros, and of great valiant achievements amongst the people who are settling here?
Maybe there was an illness. Like, nothing severe, but enough to get in the way and kind of slow down progress. Not like a plague, maybe just, a bout of something. A bout of tuberculosis was going around, It just happened. People weren't used to living on the coast. The sea air didn't help everybody. They weren't used to the damp, and they didn't take the proper precautions in the winter against the damp cold, and a lot of them got sick.
Yeah, oof.
It happens.
There was a chill in the air, and they were not prepared. The castle was not finished. It was a drafty time.
It was a very drafty
time.
It was the drafty time.
Draftiest of times.
It was
awesome. And not Lindy, sorry, Susie, you were going to be rolling for the Andal Invasion. Do you remember your Westerosi history, and what was the Andal Invasion?
So these guys called the Andals came over, and they were like, "Hey, what's up? This is ours now." And everybody kind of went, "Okay." And the first men are the ones that are like, they're your oldies. The first men were your first people, like literally the first men. Andals are kind of like your Anglo-Saxons that came over to England. That beat up your Celts and were like, this is ours now. So that's the Andal Invasion. Am I rolling 3d6?
You are indeed.
That is a 6.
6. Madness. I've never seen this rolled. Ooh, okay, so this is a complicated one. Do you have a virtual dice roller handy?
I sure do.
No.
Because it's 6 minus 2d6.
6 minus 2d6.
6 is your starting number, and then you deduct 2d6 from it. And we've got to do this all the way across the board.
That's 3.
Oh, wait, no, we add 6 and then minus 2d6. So, okay. So we add 6 minus 2d6. You said that was 3, so that's going to be a net 3 improvement, correct?
3 improvement, yeah.
That's how maths works. All right, hit me again.
So again, we got a 7.
So 6, so minus 1.
Minus 1.
You've got to do this 5 more times.
Okay. 7 again. Thanks, Fantasy.
Minus 1.
Virtual tabletop of choice. That's an 8.
Minus 2.
8 again. Fantasy ground.
Minus
Please. 2. Okay. I've lost count of how many I've done now.
2 more.
2 more.
A 10.
Minus 4.
Minus 4.
Plus 1.
And an 8.
Minus 2.
All right, so this really has only massively affected an increase in our defense, where we're now up to 39. So we're getting closer to finishing the castle, maybe. Not sure really how that works. It's a bad time. It's a bad time across the rest of the board, but the worst hit area is our power, where we have dropped down to 15.
Oh.
Yeesh. Yeesh, indeed. Everywhere else, we kind of lost 1 and 2. It's not too bad. Our influence has dropped back down. And our lands are currently pretty low as well. We're currently at 14 for lands. So, madness indeed. Tell me about this madness with the Andal Invasion, Susie.
So, our Bywater ancestor has his castle on the coast, and hearing about these Andals invading and taking over and bringing with them their strange traditions and their weird language and weird ideas of how things should be. He just goes hog on building the castle and making sure that he is safe and that he will not fall to these Andals. And he's just like, screw everything else. This is my castle. I'm the king of my castle. You're not getting me here. And the rest just falls into disarray. So while everybody's making deals with the Andals, building their power, building their strength and lands and people, we just shut off completely.
All right, I'm having a look at some of the names suggested by chat, and Pope has suggested one that I think is kind of cool. Durin, Jurryn. How do you feel about that? Durin Bywater.
Oh, I like it.
Our man who walled up and held out through the madness. Thank you so much to Pope for that suggestion. I will keep using these as we go throughout the history to flesh out our house. If you have more suggestions, put them in chat. Okay, so this brings us to the next age, and I'm actually going to roll this one because I have dice and I can join in. All right. 3 dice. Ooh, that's 11 plus 3 is 14. I'm feeling a bit math slow tonight, so please bear with me. But that's a 14, which is a victory.
Yay!
So joining the Royna immigration, we have a victory here in the Crown Lands. Now, the Royna immigration mostly kind of came through Dawn, if I remember correct, right?
Yeah. This was Nymeria with her a gajillion billion ships. This is her marrying Mos Martell, forming House Nymeros Martell, and basically conquering Dawn. Indeed, Dawn. Indeed. The worst. She kicked out the Ironwoods, who were the High Kings of Dawn. Eventually, they bent the knee, and Dawn became, as we know, before it joined the Seven Kingdoms.
If anyone doesn't know, we play a second campaign, which is the sister campaign to the Crown Lands, called After the Fire, and we have a lot to do with Dawn. So there are a lot of opinions on the history of Dawn. What I'm going to suggest is we knew Nymeria was coming. We had this connection with Essos. We kind of know we've got deals and trades coming on, and maybe we even supplied a ship. Maybe we even helped her invade Dawn.
Yeah.
And it was a long fought war that went on, but maybe we succeeded, and maybe whilst our neighbors were even distracted trying to figure out if they wanted to get involved or hiding away, we started claiming a few bits of land when they weren't looking, making the most of our situation here in the Crown Lands away from the actual war. How does that sound?
I like it.
All right, so victory, 1d6 to defense. I rolled a 3.
Ooh.
Influence. That's another 3. And power. Oh, it's a 1. Distinctly disappointed in myself. I nearly closed the book then. I was like, I'm done. I'm out. All right, so that was a 3 for
3,
and then a 1 at the end. All right, so we continue improving our defense. So our position must be, I think, pretty good. Wherever we are, it's got to be a naturally defensible position. We've got a massive castle, and it's a good defensible position, right? This is somewhere, maybe on a hill, looking down into the Crownland valleys.
Like a bluff.
Well, we got to be near the coast, right? Because of Bywater and the ships.
Correct. So yeah, we could be like right up on a cliff somewhere.
We could have a little island.
We could have a little island. We could add a little island.
Island would be fun.
I like that idea. There are quite a few little islands around Blackwater Rush and kind of moving up. The biggest ones, obviously, are Dragonstone and Driftmark, and then you go up to the crab places.
Crab Claw Point, Charlie. It's where my house is. Come on.
The crab places.
The crab place. Thanks.
Look, it's Wednesday. I'm hanging out with my good friends here in Encounter Roleplay. I need to remember the names of things. All right. I love it. We've got a castle, and it's on an island. I love this idea. I like it very much. It's a small island. Maybe there's like a strait that kind of comes out when it's low tide.
Oh, it's like Lindisfarne up in Northumberland, where it has a causeway that floods every day with the tides.
Yes, I like this idea. I can hear Sam screeching at me adding geography, but here we go. This is what we're doing, Sam. I've added some geography to the bay. All right, cool. So success, we have a castle, and not only is it bigger than we thought, but it's better than we thought. It's a good time. And slowly our influence is rising. People are recognizing we've got a big fucking castle.
A big castle will get you a lot of places.
Hey, baby. You heard about my big castle?
Yeah. It's
Come see Bywater Towers. Terribly serious, this game. All right, Lindy.
Yes.
I believe it's your turn to roll, and this is Aegon's Conquest. This is the Targaryens coming to Westeros, and they come right through here. King's Landing, where Aegon lands. So this is a big deal for our area of the world, and it's 3d6 again.
3d6. All right, I'm gonna take these 3.
Roll well, Lindy.
Please roll
I'm gonna keep
well.
our castle.
I'm trying. Okay. How about a 14?
Victory again!
Yay! We're on a victory roll.
We are. Victory rolls. The signature hairstyle of the household at the time.
It's victory rolls.
Victory rolls.
Canon. Okay,
Hey,
so Lindy, this is... Sorry, go ahead.
We can even work it into canon. It kind of looks like dragon horns, right? We were big Target fans.
Oh, yeah. I dig it.
We've helped invaders all through history, apparently. So, and the Targaryens were based at Dragonstone right before they invaded. So, to be honest, from our little island to their little island, we see those dragons coming in. We're like, whew, I know which way the wind's blowing.
Me Island is Stew Island.
So Lindy, this is 3d6, and these go into defense, influence, and power.
Roll high. Come on, dice.
Come on, Lindy.
Okay, not bad, not bad. So we've got 4.
Okay.
Ooh.
Our castle's getting bigger.
This castle is
A 3.
huge.
It is huge. Uh-huh.
And a 6.
Yeah! Right, we're slowly building an army. That's a huge improvement to our army. So maybe the Targaryens commissioned us to get some warships on the go.
Yeah.
I like it. I like this very much. I'm very excited. I've never been more excited about being on the side of the Targaryens, to be honest.
I know.
Like, this is a new feeling.
I don't like
It does
this.
feel very weird. But it does tie into later history when we get to the Blackfyre Rebellion. But before that, we have the Dance of Dragons, which is one of the big Targaryen conflicts that happens in Westeros. From this point onwards, they happen kind of every 100 years or so. But Dance of Dragons comes up, and this is a huge war in Westeros between two Targy lines, the green and the black dragons.
This is when a lot of dragons died too, because they were just fighting each other. I rolled another 14, fam. Do we want to
roll again? Usually, if we have the same thing twice, we roll again. So we'll roll again.
It's victory, victory. We just win. All we do is win, win, win. No matter.
You're not going to believe this. It was 14 again.
It's meant to be. We're meant to be winners.
Roll again.
One more roll.
11.
11.
Okay.
This is infrastructure. So this is a time where we just kind of mildly improve things. We get to choose 2 things and increase them by 1d6. Now I'm going to say we have to choose in advance what we are improving before we make the rolls. So at the moment, we know our castle is great. We have a killer castle.
So here's the thing, right? Our castle is so big that we have no lands. Our lands are currently at 14.
Yeah, our castle takes up most of the land on this island. Can confirm.
But everyone lives inside it, which means it's super safe.
I think we just went
Deep
they're
fish.
fighting. We're not going to win. Either side of this is not coming out of a winner.
Is this the equivalent of moving your neighbor's fence post like 3 feet a year?
Exactly.
I love it.
We're going to just move our boundaries a couple of inches while a civil war is happening, and no one will know.
Okay, so a vote for increased land. Before we make our vote for our second one, though, I will say we need only 4 more to get the biggest castle that you can get in this game. A superior castle is an investment of 50. A superior castle is a massive stronghold in the vein of Harrenhal, the Eyrie, Storm's End, Dragonstone, and Winterfell. A superior castle has several towers and structures and smaller buildings, all surrounded by a steep curtain wall, and likely a moat as well, or the sea, as we call it around here. So, if we want to keep pushing our giant castle game, we just need 4 more, but we do have a lot of areas where we are severely lacking.
we have this huge castle, and we're like a minor house at 21.
All right, you know what? Hold on. Chat, right now, I want you to put castle if you are voting for us to improve our power, or other if you think we should focus on our other problems. Here we go. Everyone put it in chat. Castle.
You know it's castle.
All right. It's a big old castle, fam.
All right, let's roll. Let's
1d6,
see how big
please.
our castle is.
Massive. Let's just whip it out and show the world.
Okay. I rolled a 6.
We got a big
isn't
old
that-
castle.
Well, is that our lands? Because we chose lands first, or do we want
that's
the big
true.
castle?
I mean, in the list, defense comes first.
It does.
Oh,
All right.
that's true. Big castle.
All right, so a 6 into defense, and what did you roll for lands?
Hang on 1 sec.
I'm waiting for a page from Sam going, this is not right. You shouldn't be doing this. We're doing it, Sam. Oh,
We got a 1.
Hey, we just moved the fence post by a few inches a year. Of like 3 feet a year. That's a little bit extra land. That's
You know,
another
we're
garden.
relying on Longshore Drift to wash more sand onto our beach to extend it a little bit further. Thank you, GCSE Geography. All right, lands. That
Our
increases by
defense
1.
is 52, friends. I've never seen that number that big.
My only question is how big can it go? Because we have one last age to roll, which is the first Blackfyre rebellion. Now, the penultimate, or not the penultimate, the final climactic battle of this was Redgrass, which is just across 2 rivers from House Tremaine. It's kind of in the center of the Heartlands. The King's Landing is the capital at the moment. That's just across the water from us. So this is a significant time, and we are very loyal Targaryen supporters, historically, it would seem.
Mhm.
We seem to do very well when they do well. But this is a battle, essentially, of 2 Targaryens. The bastard Daemon Blackfyre and his half-brother, Daeron II, who has been a successful king for the last 20 or so years. But Daemon wields Blackfyre, the ancestral sword of the Targaryens. He's basically like the favorite bastard of Aegon the Fourth. Aegon the Fourth? I don't know, one of the Aegons.
Oh, it's
Aegon the Banging, as I like to think of him.
Oh, he's not, though.
The
He's
Shameful.
like-
Oh, he did, though.
He did. He was quite a prolific banger. He wasn't banging to look at.
He slapped, but he's not a slap.
Charlie. Why?
I'm sorry. Okay. So this is our final age. I have believed in my head that the Bywaters were loyal to the Targaryens in this period.
Mhm.
So keeping that in mind, I'm not going to enforce a negative penalty, which is what you would get if you are on the wrong side of this conflict.
Oh.
So, because you would lose, it would be a defeat. It would be a bad time for all. So, Susie, I think it's your turn. No, you just
I
did
rolled
infrastructure.
left. Yeah.
It's my turn. Oh
It's
no.
It is your turn.
You know what? It's 3d6. Everyone roll 1 each.
Okay.
I don't want sole responsibility for how this goes.
I dropped it, but I'm gonna keep it.
Okay. Right, I rolled a 2. What did you roll, Lindy?
5.
7, 3, 10. Decline. The Bywaters decline during the Blackfyre Rebellion. But in good news, this doesn't affect our castle. So,
Oh, good.
it does, however, affect our influence, lands, power, and wealth.
Fam, them the ones that we don't have points in.
They are the ones we
I
don't have
know.
points in.
We
So
don't
what I
need
will
to
say,
just
what I
think
think
that.
happens is Aberon Bywater is like, Daeron, boo, I got you. I'll give you my ships. I'll give you my men. We'll sort this out. This, this can't stand. This bastard can't be doing this. I'm busy being a buccaneer and he's coming in here with war. How dare he? That kind of a conversation happens. And I think basically he just overextends the house resources, right? He's putting money into things. And even though the Blackfyre rebellion fails and Daeron remains king, he's still paid out. He's still invested in a war. And maybe as Daeron's making peace with people as best he can, people are being given a little bit of land, things being moved around. Aberon Bywater gets shunned a little bit. He doesn't get the payback that he was expecting. And perhaps this is why we see him coming to you, Susie, coming to Allegra, like, I need to make a deal. I need some ships. I know if I can make good, he'll remember everything I've done, and then we will get the real payday. So I think maybe that's what's happening here. So it is going to be a minus 1d6. That's a minus 5 to influence.
Oh,
That's
no.
a minus 1d6. Oh my god.
That's a minus 2 to land, so we lost a little bit of land. I think that just fell into the sea, to be honest.
Yeah.
Minus 3 to power. Oh. I want to quit now. I quit. That's a minus 6 to wealth.
Oh no. We were doing okay in that category.
Right. Susie, what did I roll? I've already forgotten. It's a minus 6 to wealth. Everything went blank.
Minus 6 to wealth, minus 3 to power, and minus 5 to influence.
What did I roll for lands? 2, right? Yeah.
Yes, minus 2 to lands.
Thanks, fam. Sorry, I was keeping it in my head, and then suddenly I just wrote that 6 and everything went away. All right. We are not in the best positions in the house at this time, but we do get to do some rearranging of stats at this point.
We have a big castle.
And you know what? This is an NPC house. So what I'm going to say is normally houses are rolled with like at least 4 players, right? I'm going to say that we are going to roll 2 more d6s that we can add into stats. We're going to add another infrastructure to this before we rearrange. It's not going to massively rescue every single stat, but I think it's kind of fair, because if this was being rolled for a game, we would have more players to roll. So, Lindy, roll 1d6, and we will add this to a stat. Which stat do you want?
Oh,
I know you just rolled, but that's okay. What are you feeling?
I haven't looked at it yet. What lands? We lost a lot of land, right?
We did. We lost a lot of wealth as well.
And influence.
Okay, well
and influence.
Let's go wealth, because we can buy all those things.
That's the Bywater spirit. We can just buy everything we need. All right. So, what did you roll? Sorry, Lindy.
6.
A 6. Oh, good. We just recovered that decline.
Yeah. Thank God.
Good.
All right. Cool. Susie, you can roll yours. I'm guessing this is going to go into influence, because that's where we're really not in a good way right now.
I got a 6.
Nice. Very
and
nice.
It's going in influence. Good God, it's going in influence.
So we only had a teeny decline. The fence post got moved back.
The neighbor went, hang on.
Hang on. Let's reevaluate the property lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your castles, I remember your castle being a little farther, a little closer than it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as it stands, our final stats are 52 for defense, which is a superior castle. Hot damn. Very nice. Very big. We're going to have to name that. So, chat, come up with some suggestions for what Bywater Castle might be called. We ended up with 22 influence, which is not high. 13 in land, but we're on a tiny island, so that kind of makes sense. Yeah, it just means we're not going to get as many benefits from having that space. We ended up with 44 on law. It makes sense. We're very close to King's Landing. We're close to a lot of defendable places, and we have a really big castle. And who goes to an island to burglarize?
Yeah,
right.
It's not.
Let me see.
There's a lot of swimming involved.
Yeah, you'll be a real quick swimmer. We have 34 population, so it's a crowded island. It's a very crowded island.
The big castle.
It's a big castle. The sleepovers are great. Our power is 19. So one thing we could do is move some population into power to increase our army. And then finally, our
that's
wealth
a lot of people
is...
not in the military. I think we can rearrange.
Finally, our wealth is 27. So I'm just going to go and have a look at the swapperoos that we can do.
Castle and you win. I like that one.
So population is kind of a cool table in that there's kind of a sweet point for it, and then if you kind of exceed that population level, it starts actually giving negative modifiers to your house fortune rolls. So the sweet spot of +3 is at 31 to 40. So we could afford, where are we at? Population 34. We could afford to lose 3 points of population and move those into power. And I'm just going to do a 1-for-1 today, just because it's easy. Which would bring us up to 22 power, which is a good start. That would be my suggestion for a change. Obviously, we've got good lore, and what I have been doing with the Crown Lands family is using a little bit of lore to just bump other things to make it fit the story better. Because that +20 is gross, but you cannot drop it down below the average of 3d6 +20, which I figured out the other day. But we've got a lot of lore to play with. Yes, 27. Thank you, Lindy.
Wait, 2d6 +20 or 3d6? Because that'd be a little bit higher. It'd be like 5 more 12. So
right, so we are moving 3 from our population and putting them into our army, essentially into our power. We could maybe shift a little bit of that lore just into wealth if you'd like. Let me see what you could actually swap it for in the game. Let me see. Because lore essentially is again a house fortune modifier. The higher your lore, the higher the modifier. At the moment, at 44, we're on a +0. So as long as we stay above a 40, we kind of stay at that. Sorry, above a 41. If we go to 40, it's a -1 to house fortunes. The house fortune table is slightly different from the historical events table in that it does favor the higher your number is, the more likely it is to have a very good thing happen. It's still not perfect. There are still some bad things towards, I think, that top end of the table, but it's less likely. It's a more extreme fortune that happens. So how do we feel about moving a bit of that lore, and where do you think we should move it to, Lindy?
I think
we can move 3 points.
Power or land, but again, we are on an island, so those seem to be our... Because I think our wealth is doing okay at a 27. Our castle's fantastic. No complaints about our castle.
Our influence could go up as well. It's at a 22. Influence is, pretty important, I think.
Okay.
Even as just an abstract narrative concept, influence feels important in this kind of a game, but also because you can spend influence to affect rolls sometimes to improve things. So
does it change? It changes on the odd numbers, right?
Yes, it does. So the maximum, to be fair, at 22, the maximum status we can achieve is a 4 in our house. The status of like our lord would be maximum of a 4. We would need to go all the way up to a 41 to unlock a 5, so we can't do that anyway.
Yeah, no.
So it's probably not worth it, actually.
So we could put all 3 points into influence, or we could put a point to bump it up to an odd number, and then put the other 2 somewhere else, or we could just put all 3 in influence.
Well, what I meant was, for our influence, we need to get it up to like a 41 to actually change anything at this point, because we're already across the 21 threshold. So we could just put it in land if you wanted, or in wealth, or the army. If you're feeling army, we could go army.
I mean, I'd say land or army.
All right, chat, time to vote. Land or army? These are your keywords. Put those
With the
in chat.
military, they can't take your land, so
This is
you're an
true.
island.
All right. Oh, it's pretty evenly split. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 army. 1, 2, 3. 3 land. 4 land. All right. Susie, final vote. Land or army?
Army.
All right,
All right,
army it
army.
is. So we will detract 3 points from our law, and we're going to put that into... We're in the army now. There we go. 3. Perfect. This brings us up to, let me think, 22, 25 on our army front.
Nice.
In chat, I know Don is hanging around. Don, I'm going to DM you real soon. I'm going to need some more units at some point. As the only person I know who truly understands how the units work. But that is basically the house made. We have all of the key stats formatted. We've moved a few things around. And we now know where the Bywaters stand. The Bywaters are reasonably well off. They are up to a maximum status of 4, which is, a lesser house, but still a house all the same. They have a killer castle, a famous castle. Bywater Castle will be monstrous on its tiny little island. And it is a tiny little island. At A13, our land... Where is it? Where'd the table go? Just looking at it. We can afford very little, to be honest. Feature costs. We're on the coast, so that's a 3.
Our castle
We can't
is so
afford
impressive,
any
though.
hamlets or towns or anything like
Just the
that.
castle.
The only thing on the island is the castle, and then all
You
the
know what?
shit
Our castle
around
is
it.
so impressive. We could charge tickets and do castle tours.
Yes.
So many people want to see it.
I like it. And I like the idea that because we've got such a big castle, that Donegal Bywater lives in this castle, and he lived here with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And that maybe the Tremaine children would go here kind of, for 6 months maybe in good weather, and just go and live at the castle and get educated with their cousins, spend time there. Maybe not all of the children, yet learn to sail, trips to King's Landing, meet people.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the idea that it's this hub, but we have Rhiannon Bywater. And she is obviously married out of the Bywater house, even though we're classing her as Bywater right now. And one of the questions we had in chat, in kind of the lead up to this, is who's everyone else in the Crownlands? Whomst are all these people? What other friends can House Tremaine find? So, houses of the Crownlands. What I do when I do my research for this is go to the Wiki of Ice and Fire. It's a very helpful place where they have kind of gathered all known information into one place. There are a lot of houses here. Obviously, over time, that will have changed. But there are quite a few, and it extends all the way up to Crackclaw Point, right across there. So, we have... these are kind of in total across history. So, House Baratheon of Dragonstone, that is not current, obviously. They are down in the Stormlands still. Robert has not had his rebellion, and he has not claimed Dragonstone. Let's see. House Blackfyre. Unfortunately, they are currently exiled in Tyrosh.
Yep.
House Blount. Let's have a look at House Blount. This is a green field with 2 porcupines and a red stripe.
Don't like it.
Is there any information? Let's see. What information we have. Boros Blount. Boros is an ugly man with a broad chest and short bandy legs. He has a flat nose. Bran Stark considers him bold. Okay, so this is someone that people meet at the time. Jaime Lannister doesn't like him very much either. Oof, the reviews. But Boros is loyal to Cersei Lannister. Sorry, I'm just reading this information. It's great. Let's have a look. Historically, they have been involved in a lot of things in the books. They're definitely around. and part of the King's Guard. Boros is the worst of the King's Guard, in Sansa's opinion. So I think these are people who are probably quite close to the Crownlands, to King's Landing, and obviously quite involved in the affairs. Obviously, by this point, history's changed a lot, and the Targaryens have moved out and things. But I think I would still take this as a seed of inspiration for. I think this is someone who historically has had family members in the King's Guard. This is like a legacy, because that's when you get the really mean people, the people who are really entitled, and they're like, my father was a King's Guard, and I'm a King's Guard. And my son will be a King's Guard. Wait, I can't have a son because I'm a King's Guard. Shame. But I'll kill your son, and he could have been in a King's Guard, and won't you regret that?
Charlie's bringing in energy, and I'm sure I'm ready for it.
So I think they are people that are around. And I would probably play them as kind of a smaller militaristic driven, maybe like landed knight like feeling to it, where they're not, nobility lounging around. They're people out in the training yard. They're doing more menial things. They're a smaller house. But I think that's the vibe I'm going to take for them. And I think we will see them if we return to King's Landing. I'm going to put them in because I like the idea of 2 porcupines. 2 prickly fuckers on the shield. House Boggs.
It's gonna be, right? The leaders of that house have to be 2 brothers who are very prickly, right? And they're known for having very 2 pricks. The pricks of fucking house, whatever its name is.
House Blount, I think.
Blount.
Sorry, I'm having feelings about things. Boros is awful. I don't remember Boros, but apparently he was in quite a lot of the books. But there were a lot of people in a lot of those books. Let's see. There's I know those guys are way up north and not really relevant right now. House Birch. Let's have a look at House Birch, shall we? So this appears to be it's a bizarre. Okay, have a little Google of House Birch on the wiki of Ice and Fire and take a look at the standard. It's quartered, and there's like a pinwheel of black and white in the top left and bottom right, and then it's 2 green fields on the other side with those weapons.
Axes.
What are they called? Axes. They kind of look like halberds, to be fair.
Huh. They do, but they're axes.
But they're axes, yeah. Lord Birch came to King's Landing in 48 AC at the command of King Maegor Targaryen.
Yeah. Okay, so I know this guy. The Birches were the commanders of the City Watch of King's Landing under Maegor the Cruel. Not good guys. Bad
Not good guys. Bronn kills a descendant in a duel. Yay, Bronn! I know that guy. So again, another kind of shitty person in the Kingsguard. I'm sensing a theme here of the Kingsguard not being great guys.
It happens sometimes.
But that's House Birch. I'm not sure whereabouts in the Crownlands they're based. Does it tell me anywhere?
Hold up, I found it. I found the house.
Found the house.
House Cargyle. Scroll down. Look at their arms. Fam, Google House Cargyle or hit up this link. It's the one.
The Golden Goose?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Golden Goose. Again, members of the Kingsguard. I guess this is pretty normal, right? If you're a noble house, you want to be connected to the king, you send the king one of your sons. Like, you go, he'll guard you with his life.
Yeah. And around the Crownlands is the perfect place to recruit because you get them from close by, right? You're not sending off for the wall or up north with the bloody Starks.
Golden Goose is giving some powerful side eye right now.
I know. Right? I love this goose.
The Lord is extinct. Died after 209 AC. Luckily, this is a long way after our timeline because we are currently in 198 AC. AC standing for Aegon's Conquest, in case anyone wasn't sure.
Oh.
Let's see. Clarence Cargyle comes up at the tourney of Ashford Meadow. Ah, that's where he dies.
Oh, he's one of the ones that is he the one that one of the ones that participates in the Trial of the Seven with Dunk?
I believe so.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or at least he was like, it says they die that year, and that's the only event listed in that year.
Oh no, he just attended. He didn't die.
Just attended, didn't die?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it was the bee guy, Beesbury, I think, that died.
Beesbury.
It's been a while.
Oh, that's
Anyway.
so sad. That whole thing. If you haven't read The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I 100% recommend the illustrated one, the graphic novel version.
Or even if you
because it's quite the journey. Or there's a great audiobook.
That's on my books, but this one has beautiful illustrations in it. It's very, very good. Hang on, let me see if I can find one. Look,
I was reading the graphic novel, and my shock when the thing happens at the end of the tourney.
Oh,
I don't want to spoiler it, but the thing, my heart. But yes, but yeah, House Cargyle could be. I like it. The golden goose, and it's like on Dennis the Menace background with the red and black
Dennis
stripes.
the Menace. Yes, that's the technical term for it, Charlie.
Uh-huh. Is that an English thing? Is Dennis the Menace an English thing or a British thing?
No, Dennis the Menace is here too.
But I think our Dennis the Menace is different to their Dennis the Menace, because theirs is a blonde kid. And ours is very much not a blonde kid.
Very not a blonde kid. That's interesting. Anyway, sidetrack. So basically when I research what houses are in the Crown Lands, I will generally read through this list and have a look at like what's close, what has gaps, because we like filling in gaps a lot. And then sometimes I would just make up houses as well. Who do we know lives at Rosby? Because that is a house that's Rosby. House Rosby of Rosby. Okay. Let's go and have a look at them because they live really close to House Tremaine. They're like one of your closest neighbors. House Rosby was one of the first houses to yield peacefully to House Targaryen during Aegon's conquest.
Oh.
I'm just kind of scanning through for the Sir Rayford Rosby defended King Maegor the First Targaryen during his trial of the Seven, but Rayford was slain during the fighting. Lord Rosby remained loyal to the king even as his downfall became certain, and was one of the last to see the king alive. In the chaos that followed the discovery of Maegor's body, Lord Rosby drank a cup of hemlock to join his king in death. His young son received forgiveness from King Jaehaerys the First Targaryen at Dragonstone. Lord Rosby died from the shivers in 59 AC. Maybe that's what we should call your sickness, the shivers.
The shivers?
The shivers.
So Lord Rosby was imprisoned in the Red Keep at the start of Dance of Dragons. Scanning through. There's a whole lot that goes on. These guys like to be involved with things. These guys are joiners.
Weirdly, it doesn't mention their involvement in the first Blackfyre. They were there for the second and put it down.
They were there. So that to me is a question. Then what were they doing? Because the last I heard from before then was once King Aegon the Second Targaryen regained the Iron Throne, Lords Rosby, Stokeworth, and Drakeland were forced to surrender their castles to the Greens. So this during Dance of Dragons. So they must have been in a massive decline right after Dance of Dragons. They've had to give up their castles. They get to keep their title. That doesn't say that's taken from them. But we don't hear about them again until after our timeline with the second Blackfyre Rebellion. So in this time, this says to me, they must be working their way back up. They must be trying to make some plays, trying to build back up resources, trying to maybe get their castle back, get a new castle. So maybe they were at the hand of the tourney of the Hand of the King. I can speak in the order with the words. So maybe they were kind of there. You saw their banners with the House Tremaine. And they're your neighbors. They're just down the road. Maybe they just have a hall now. The castle's gone. That belongs to someone else. It was demolished. Whatever happened to it, they don't have control of it. They have like a hall. They have a simple house. Maybe the castle's been turned into like a barracks of some description for standing armies, for kings and things. Or just, an empty castle that they're not allowed to live in anymore because no.
They just gotta look at it.
Yeah, they just get to look at it. Hey, Tesla.
They get to wave hi as they pass. They get to say hi. Tesla. Hi.
So they could potentially be a good ally for House Tremaine. They could also potentially be a dangerous ally, depending on how intrigues go. But I think they're pretty interesting, the Rosbys. They've got not the ugliest shield I've ever seen either, to be fair. It's not beautiful, but it'll do.
It's not House Lips.
No. I think House Lips is mine and Susie's like top ugliest shield.
I'm going to link it in chat so everybody
Pope
can...
has a great suggestion. Maybe the castle has been converted to a sept.
Ooh.
I like this idea. I like that very much. That's a great idea. A fourth player has joined. Indeed, Brainbuster. Okay,
Oh no.
so...
That's
It's
unfortunate.
bad, isn't it? It's bad.
Very unfortunate.
So now what I would like to do is going to open up my Wild Anvil, and I think I've got this set up so that I can share it with stream as well. Let me click the button and see if it's going to work. Boop, boop, boop. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's a little bit cropped, but this is Wild Anvil, who we've partnered with this season. This is my Crown Lands. This is an interface for an article, actually. Let's go to the Crown Lands itself. Take me to my world, please. I haven't had a lot of time to play with Wild Anvil, but I've had a lot of fun making things. And we've even got the family tree on here. And what I'm going to do is add little markers on it, like a map, and they will link to different people in the family. Here's my plan. How do I get out of this?
That's a good idea.
Stuck in my draft article. Oh no, I've gone too far. Take me back.
No.
So yeah, also on Wild Anvil already, I've put all of the letters up here, which to me are one of the most important artifacts of the campaign because we discuss a lot of stuff. That way. Can we just go to... All right, so here is our Crown Lands map. I'm going to edit this one. So down here, hopefully you can see it is Famine's Hold, which I've already made into a marker. And then up at the top is House Dorsey. Is it called Tide's Door? Is that what we decided the house was called?
Tide's Door, yeah.
Tide's Door. Now, I have a little marker that I can put a fresh one down. Where do we think the island is? There is a tiny island
very
here.
Small island, yeah.
Yeah, in
That
between
looks about right.
Driftmark and Duskendale.
Yeah, should we claim this island as our very own? Duskendale was the original port of this area. King's Landing kind of came about when Aegon kind of decided to come here.
Yeah.
So,
Which, George,
Claim
hey, let's have a chat, George, because that doesn't make sense geographically. That's nonsense. Get it sorted. King's Landing is on a big fucking river. It's in a bigger bay. Duskendale's in nowhere. Get it sorted.
and also if you're
Sorry.
sailing from Dragonstone, but I think also doesn't it tie into he was going to take Aegon wanted to take the lands that had been refused to him because the Lord wouldn't agree to the marriage. He was like, I'm going to start with you, and then I'm taking the rest of this on my way through. So they've got different kinds of markers. I'm just going to grab a castle marker, and I'm going to make it
a big
blue
castle.
one.
Blue.
Oh, no, it's church blue. Castle yellow. We want a castle blue.
Castle blue.
What names do we have suggested, chat, for the name of our castle? Superior Castle.
Superior Castle.
Castle Superior.
House.
It'd be like Lake Superior.
We
than Castle.
have got in chat, scrolling back, we've got some suggestions I cannot say for proprietary reasons. This is just for being proper and polite. We have Bellsea, which is Belle and then C, as in the sea.
Ooh, I like it. Okay.
Blue Spell Keep,
Blue Spell
Black
Keep.
Rock,
Nice.
Grace Keep, Raven's Crest, Castle Hasselhoff, which is difficult to say apparently.
Castle Hasselhoff.
Oh, Ghost Castle.
Castlehoff. Castlehoff. Ho 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 ho.
I see what you did there, Lindy. I'll see what you did there.
It's the chat. The chat did it.
Oh,
Castlehoff.
chat did it.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I've accidentally named your mother after one of her antecedents. My bad. So House Bywater's shield is basically a net, a blue net with 3 silverfish at the top and a silver background. So if you want to tie in fish, that's obviously part of the
Silverfish Castle.
Silverfish like on silverfish
They are little bugs.
Yeah.
Are they bad for buildings?
That's why it took so long to build the castle.
I quite liked Belshi
Bounty. Oh, wait. Mine was more of a boat name.
Yeah.
Belsi is really nice.
I like Belsi. I really like that. Belsi, the Bywater Castle. Castle Seawall. Seawall's quite a cool name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you like
tie-in? Get that tie-in.
Yes.
Let's hope it's not
haunted.
haunted.
Into our Friday show. Also
Castle
on a tiny island.
Seawall Castle.
Castle fishnets.
Seafair. I think I like Belsi the best. I do like Seawall, but I think Belsi is my favorite. So let's call this Castle Belsi. Oops, not with capital. Let me just double check what else I need to do. I'm going to create this marker. There's no related map. Done my little label. And create marker. Boop, boop, boop.
Ding, ding, ding.
Just sending that in. And there we go. Now we have a blue marker on our map. And I'm just going to double check how I formatted the names of the other one. Yes, I just named them after the... There we go. So Castle Belsi is now on our map. Which is pretty cool. And what I will do is I will go and add an article which will connect to that, and we'll be able to add in a little bit more information about the Bywaters. Now, Donegal has 3 sons, as we said at the beginning of the stream. We've already used the name, let me double check what the name was, Durin, for one of the historical figures. But we had some other great names suggested. I can't scroll back far enough. So many names.
No. Mine won't let me go either. I saw Samson come up by a few people.
I saw Samson come up a couple of times. I like that. So we will have a son called Samson. Samson Bywater. Son of Donegal Bywater.
Could do a Belloc Bywater.
Ooh, Belloc. I like that.
Belloch.
I like that very much. And I think what we'll do is we'll probably have Rhiannon Bywater married to someone in the Eyrie, but maybe she's currently living at Castle Belsi. She's currently there.
Interesting.
Hey, Mecha Spider, we are just kind of wrapping up the end of a few little fleshing out bits we've done. We've built House Bywater. We've added it to our map on World Anvil. Oh, I think if I do this, it should link to the World Anvil in chat, because I think I made a command. Yes, I did. Let me go. So, let's see. What else is on this list? There's a House Pile. Oh, House Ryker.
Oh, we've seen the Rykers
around. You have. You've met a Ryker.
We saw one of them go into the Huzo House.
Did, and we know that Jeremy Ryker is the commander of the Rangers at Castle Black.
Jeremy Ryker? I don't know
Jeremy
why that
Ryker
name sounds so strange to me. It sounds not Westerosi.
He commands the Rangers in Benjamin Stark's absence.
Oh.
So at some point, the Rykers get sent to the wall, is what I'm learning today. Doesn't surprise me, having met Lord Ryker, who, if you don't remember in the tournament, bought a horse called Hyacinth, didn't really practice at all, got on her, and then promptly tried not to fall off for 3 rounds. He did a pretty good job of not falling off, to be fair.
He went up against Felly and Will, right?
He did. He rode against the Scorpion. He managed to not entirely fall off his horse 3 times. Which was very dramatic. But we last saw him being carted off the field to have his injuries seen to, as the third strike, I do believe, knocked him off the horse and got him dragged along the ground a little way.
Yeah, he didn't have a good time.
Yeah, it's not a good time. But the horse did great. And if you are looking for a horse, you should pop on down to the Famine's Hold showroom, pick up your palfrey.
But you gotta give us like little training, little period. We have just sold all of our inventory, but we will have some brand new stock coming in real soon. Is what Asta would say. Not Allegra. She doesn't give a shit, but Asta would give you the hard sell.
Roller 300 in chat just yells, Roach! Let's see. Indira Gosa suggests Grayson, Grady, and Darnell. I quite like Grady.
Grady?
An unusual name. Yeah, Graydee.
Grady Bywater.
Grady Bywater. I love it. All right.
I think when he was growing up, the kids would call him Grody Bywater because he's gross.
Because kids are like that, to be honest.
See, that's the thing, right? When you're naming your characters / children, you have to think about what the mean kids will call them.
Yeah, what's the worst thing you can create with that name?
Mm-hmm.
Like it very much. Okay, so let's have a look at the vices and virtues, because I want to flesh out the personality really briefly of Donegal and Rhiannon, specifically the 2 elder members of this family. Even though Rhiannon is obviously married out.
Almost as if
there is a section. You may meet them. Who knows? May come up. What with Aberon dying and all. So there is a section in the front of the Song of Ice and Fire book, which I'm gonna try and find. Lost where they've put it. Here we go. Where we can roll for background events, goals, vices, virtues, and motivations. And I think we're going to do this for Rhiannon and Donegal. I have some ideas about Donegal. I've discussed him with another player previously, but I'm still going to kind of use this for inspiration. So Lindy, if you still have 2d6 in front of you.
I do.
I'd like you to roll for a background event.
7.
7. You achieved a significant deed, maybe saving the life of your lord, killed a giant boar, and so on. All right, so what significant deed could Rhiannon have achieved?
That's interesting for that's the lady, right? The lady Rhiannon.
That's the lady of the house. Yeah.
What great deed did Lady Rhiannon do? Maybe she delivered a very important message.
Okay.
That wound up turning the tide in something, and no one suspected her because, I'm just heading to a wedding or something like that. But really, she was delivering some crucial intel.
She was being a little bit of a spy, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A little bit of a spy.
Okay, I like that. And it turned the tide. All right, I like that. All right, I will have a think. Susie, if you could do the same, we'll do one for Donegal.
Okay, come on, Uncle
That's
Donegal.
2d6.
That is a 9.
You were present at a significant tournament, competing or watching.
How athletic is Uncle Donegal?
He is more athletic than Uncle Aberon.
Was he maybe at a tournament then? Maybe he participated and did quite well.
In one?
Yeah.
Okay. What if he beat the head of House Baratheon in a recent tournament? Or not in a recent tournament, but in...
That would be the... Oh my god, he's in Dunk and Egg. He's in the first story.
Mm-hmm.
He's quite a prolific jouster. Like, that would be a big deal.
Ooh.
Because the Baratheons are very important to your story.
The Laughing
there are
Knight.
lots of tie-ins. Yeah. That's right, the Laughing Knight. There are lots of tie-ins to the Baratheons so far.
Mm-hmm.
Some more obvious than others, but they exist. So I like the idea that even that half of the family has history with the Baratheons.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. All right, so the next one is goals, and it's 2d6 again, please, Lindy.
How about a 10?
How about a 10 indeed? Wealth. Rhiannon seeks
That's a good
wealth.
goal. That's
It's a solid choice of goals, to be honest. Wealth buys you everything. I like that. That's like the house words in my head now. Money buys you everything. We will have to decide on house words. So chat, be mulling that over. That will be the absolute final thing we do tonight in a few minutes when we're done doing this. So think about words for House Bywater. I don't care if there are already some in canon. I don't think there are. We're going to make our own anyway. So, goals, Susie, for Donegal.
Donegal wants... he got 4 fame.
Fame.
And now that jousting. Yeah.
Yeah, he beat the Laughing Knight, which is pretty significant.
Maybe like Aberon, he kind of lives on that heyday story that he has. And it's kind of the same
100%.
thing, but it's become like more entrenched. Like he wants to achieve more and more things now.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's, it's escalated. Okay, so that brings us to motivations. So it's the same. It's 2d6 all the way through for this.
All right. 7.
7. Hatred. Ooh, Rhiannon doesn't like someone very much.
Nope.
That's very interesting. All right. And Susie, what about Uncle Donegal?
8.
Our castle's bigger than yours.
She stands on the shore every day giving 2 fingers to Dragonstone across the way.
Yeah.
She just crotch chops. She's like, ugh. I got an 8, which is lust.
Ooh. So he's that kind of knight.
He's spicy.
He's got 2 kinds of
Spicy
lances. All right. Virtues. I've got an idea about this hatred thing. We won't reveal that today because that can come up in the game.
Boy.
But I have an idea about this hatred thing.
Oh, I gotta roll another one. So 7 again. It just likes rolling different increments of 7.
So his virtue is that he's humble. So he seeks fame, but he's like a down-to-earth kind of I could see that. Like, yeah, he's grounded, but he wants to be known. But what he's done so far it's not worthy. It's not good enough.
Yeah,
maybe
that was nothing. I mean, really, did you see those mistakes I had?
Oh, he's like a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of a personality. Okay,
Yep.
I like that. What did you get, Susie?
I got a 10 for Uncle Donegal, which is merciful.
Oh, wait, I just gave Rhiannon... hang on, let's give that one to Rhiannon, because I just gave Donegal humble, because I confused myself. Okay. So Rhiannon gets... What did you say?
10.
Merciful?
Merciful.
Interesting. So she's motivated by hatred, but she's got a bit of mercy. If you ask her nicely. Maybe. All right, and the last one, and we'll do this the right way around because I managed to confuse myself, but back to the right way around. So for Rhiannon, what is her vice, Lindy?
Her vice is a 10.
Prejudiced.
Ooh. Oh, that's so
Right.
perfect.
It does. It ties in very well with her motivation. And Susie, what is Donegal's?
8. Licentious.
I mean... got that lust going on,
he's a fuck boy.
Why does it feel like his hero would have been like Aegon the Fourth? Like that guy, he was a dude. He knew how to do it back in the day. He kind of fucked up towards the end, But
Mhm.
he knew what he was about.
He was tapping all the beauties of Planetos, which, because the world is called Planetos in Game of Thrones, just in case you forgot. Thanks, George.
I did forget, and I hate it that you just reminded me.
I didn't know. That's great.
All right, so there we have it. We've learned a little bit about Rhiannon and Donegal. We've rolled the house stats. I'll be putting all of this up into an article on World Anvil sometime over the weekend, so we'll have a little bit more access, and maybe I'll work on a family tree as well, and we will be adding Grady, Belloc, and Samson as the 3 sons. Any last female name suggestions? Throw those in chat, and let's hear your best suggestions for the words of House Bywater. If you are not familiar with Game of Thrones, this could be like Baratheon's words. Ours is the Fury. The Lannisters, hear me roar. Winter's coming.
Which are the lamest words, to be honest. I mean,
some house out there uses those words. Always hungry, which didn't come back to bite anyone in the ass.
No.
House Dorsey's words are the tides turn.
Mm-hmm.
I like slippery when wet. Honestly, I feel like that's a good one.
It's not House Bon Jovi.
There's also Make It Rain.
Ooh, Make It Rain. That ties into like the wealth side
it
of things
does.
too.
And the coast. That's from
a rainy, miserable island off of Duskendale.
Make It Rain.
No. I hate it.
I love it.
We have We Endure, Tower Over the Tides.
Kind of like that one.
Ooh.
Although
don't end up in the walls.
Don't end up in the walls.
Stone
Tower Over the Tides. I did read that initially as Tower Over the Titties. Which is only 1D. And I was like, oh, tides.
That's Donegal's personal house words. It could be the house's Tower Over the Tides.
Mecca has nailed this. Let them come.
Donegal
so
is
good.
like, let them come, baby.
But you've got this massive castle, right? You just close the doors, let the tides rise.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea that this family's like, they can come to us.
That's
nailed
great.
it.
I think that is perfect.
And then they can graffiti it if they want.
I will say Tower of the Tides is close second for me. I like that one a lot as well. But thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all for hanging out, and thank you to Susie and Lindy for spending their time with me making these houses. There's a lot of fun prep that goes into these games. You can go the whole hog and make all of the houses in the Crown Lands. You can just make the ones that you're meeting. You can kind of pull generic stats as well on the fly, which I quite like for this game. But it's always cool just to keep expanding the world and adding to these families and exploring things. Next week, I have no idea where the family are going to go. There was talk of Allegra and Jamie heading north to Crackclaw Point. Asta stood up for himself and is attempting to mend the bridges potentially broken by Adeline when she went missing that night in the storm. There's a lot of letters flying around. The maesters coming from Gaunt. Oh, that's who I was going to make tonight. All right, keep an eye out for Otto, the House Maester of Gaunt, on the Crown Lands World Anvil. I will be building him very soon. Let's just go and say hi to Lindy and Susie one last time, find out where we can find them on the internet, and then we will say goodnight. And thank you very much for your help. Lindy.
Okay, hi, it's me. I'm Lindy. You can find me online at LaughLoveLindy, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I'm in a lot of games. I DM a lot of games. I have a lot of fun playing games. A quick shout out to Tales from Hollow World podcast. If you just want a quick 20 to 30 minute listen, it's perfect for your commute. It's super audio drama-esque edited, so it's a lot of fun. And I think episode 4 just released, and it's got some sweet sound effects. A lot of melons are murdered for the sound effects.
Rest in pieces to the melange. Susie.
Hello, that's me. Hi, I'm Susie. and Susanna Grace. You heard the spiel like 2 hours ago, but I'm going to give it to you again. I'm a variety streamer. I do video games. I do art streams. I do tabletop RPGs. Most notably, I seem to be playing in a lot of Song of Ice and Fire campaigns, and I'm definitely not sorry about it. So you can catch me tomorrow in the chat of Follow Black Cats for After the Fire, which is the sister campaign to the Crownlands, in which we play as House Greenmont, who are a house in the Reach right on the border with Dawn. And we're 3 seasons in. Things are terrible. I'm pretending to not be from the Reach anymore. I'm pretending to be Dawnish. I've got the Prince of Dawn at my house, and it's great. So tomorrow we'll have Charlie in it. It's got Tom in it from Zweihander. It's got Dawn. It's got Jason. It's got all our good friends, and they are traveling to go see people. I don't know. And yeah, so check that out is my plug.
Please do go and check those out, and make sure you are back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern when we are playing Unhallowed Metropolis. Lindy will be here, and Death is getting very curious about his curios, I think is a fair conclusion. As people seduce the devil, they have bad choices in partners, and there is, as always, Cooper, the chicken boy.
The chicken boy.
All right. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. I can't say goodnight yet. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has hung out. If you've enjoyed this, please hit a like, especially if you're on the YouTubes. Yes, thank you so much for being here. It's been really fun to hang out and do this. And if you would like to see more of this, let us know. Join us in the Discord. Post your questions. I apologize we didn't do very many questions tonight, but I got a little bit stuck into the house making. All right, I'm on the thing now. We will see you next week. Take care and good night. Before we begin today's show, I would like to take some time to remind you about our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice. All of the beautiful maps and roles you see tonight are done using Fantasy Grounds, which you can try for free at fantasygrounds.com. You can also get all of your miniatures from Wayland Games. Go to waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself a huge range of D&D, Warhammer and 40k minis for up to 20% off regular retail price. And Tabletop Loot, who sell incredible dice. Go and check them out at tabletoploot.com.